Hi, I'm Darren and welcome to New Factory Classics. Today we're going to break down Dude, Where's My Car? Let's journey back to the year 2000 when a producer decided to ask the question, what would happen if you put Kelso and Stifler in a movie? And together they answered the world's greatest mystery, Dude, Where's My Car? Jesse and Chester are two dudes in their early 20s that can't remember what happened the night before. They're about to go on some crazy adventures and make a whole bunch of new friends. If this plot seems like a reminder of something else to you, just know this movie came out 8 years before The Hangover. Well, they hope they went to their girlfriend's party the night before. I mean, they had to. They're pretty good boyfriends, right? So they say good morning to the drifter that lives in their living room closet and decide to eat something before they go out for the day. After getting stoned and eating a lifetime supply of pudding, they get a voicemail from their girlfriends who are pissed off because at the party the night before, the boys ruined their house. Throughout the movie, the girls are called the twins. Now they must be fraternal twins because they aren't even remotely the same size. Now the girls remind Jesse and Chester that not only did they ruin their house the night before, but they better have good gifts. Today is their 1-year anniversary. Chester and Jesse definitely want to bring them good gifts because they're expecting sex in return. Jesse and Chester's job is some sort of co-op pizza delivery boys. I didn't know you could do 2 people to that job, but they certainly do. Now, apparently the night before, they stole a whole bunch of pizzas from their boss. But a little bit of the blame's on him. Why did you hire these 2 people to do a single teenager's job? But forget their boss. It's time to go to their girlfriend's house and deliver the gifts so they can finally get their sex. But the problem is, their car is missing. Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? One thing is made clear. They don't know where their car is. Chester has an idea, though. If they lost their car while they were wasted, they should get wasted again. It'll help them remember how to find it. So they go to their weed dealer's house and smoke weed with him and his dog. And now it's time for some serious business, going to get some Chinese food. Now they want 3 of each of the following. Garlic chicken. And then white rice. And then fortune cookies. And then no and then. And then no and then. And then no and then. And then... Now this lady is very confusing to the stoners, but her plan is working. She gets them to buy extra items. Unfortunately, this scene lasts for what seems like an eternity, and it ends with Jesse destroying the ordering box. Their Zen dealer kicks them out of his car. I guess they're going to have to do the rest of the day on foot. They run into Christy Boner, the hottest girl in town, and it turns out the night before they gave her $500 to feel her up and fool around in the back of Jesse's car. They were throwing around mad cash last night, and they also apparently were cheating constantly on their girlfriends. Well, if they had a bunch of money the night before, what would they have done with it? I know, they probably went to a strip club. What a great story to tell their girlfriends on their anniversary. Well, it turns out that the money in the briefcase was from a transsexual stripper. For some reason, she decided to give $200,000 to Jesse and Chester. It's not really explained. It's also not explained where she got the money from. Maybe it's stolen from a bank. Maybe it's stolen from the strip club, but for some reason, she gave it to them. Now, the next scene moves back and forth between a stripper's penis in their underwear and a wet t-shirt contest. Just back, forth, back, forth. You really don't know and are not prepared for what you're about to see. This movie is absolute cinema. Jesse and Chester finally make it over to their girlfriend's house. They're trying to apologize for having trashed the house the night before. Also, they don't have any gifts for their girlfriend, so it turns out the girls aren't too happy with them. While helping to clean up the mess that they made, Jesse and Chester actually destroy the house even more, so they're thrown out on their butts by their girlfriends. There's one positive, though. The girls are unaware of all the cheating that Jesse and Chester did the night before. The boys are kidnapped off the street by a bunch of space nerds that are looking for the Continuum Transfunctioner, an item that's power is only outmatched by its mystery. I will say this, out of the 17 plot lines in this movie, this is one of them. It turns out that the guy's got some tattoos. What does mine say? Sweet, what does mine say? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet, what does mine say? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet, what does mine say? Before we continue, I have to say that this movie made 5 times at the box office what they spent on the budget. That's incredible. You may see that in a horror movie, but it's extremely rare. So before you judge this ripoff of Who's on First, just recognize that the year 2000 was a much simpler time. Anyways, they get new Adidas tracksuits, they rented a car, and they're ready to party. It's time to use the cash that they stole from that transsexual stripper and make a music video. They pull up next to Fabio and his girlfriend. He revs his car. They rev their car. He puts his arm around his girlfriend. Jesse puts his arm around Chester. He slowly makes out with his girlfriend. Jesse and Chester pause, and then they slowly make out. Disgusted, Fabio drives off. It looks like the boys won this standoff with a bunch of homoeroticism. Happy Pride Month, everyone! A group of sexy spies is looking for the Continuum Transfunctioner, but Jesse and Chester have no idea where it is. Too bad also, because the spies were offering oral pleasure if they were able to find it. But it doesn't really matter because Jesse and Chester end up being arrested about 10 seconds later. It turns out that a blind cop confused them with a bunch of drug dealers, but they didn't do it. The blind cop also sent their car to the impound lot. He really sucks. Hey. Ocular degeneration of our public servants is nothing to joke about. The next scene is the twins working at an event for blind children at the park. Volunteers teaching the blind how to play baseball and things like that. Hey, ocular degeneration of our nation's youth is nothing to joke about. Jesse and Chester are approached by two buff men that are also looking for the Continuum Transfunctioner. They sound like they're doing their best impression of Hans and Franz from early 90s SNL. The twins come to the house and break up the boys. They ruined their house the night before with the party, they forgot their anniversary, and now they've been hanging out with big-breasted bimbos. The boys are sad to have been dumped by the girls. Despite all their efforts to cheat on them, they actually love them. They decide that they're going to be men and prove that they love the girls. They're going to get good presents, get the car back, and win the girls back. But first, Jesse has to take a dump. While off to try and find the car, they get kidnapped by the space nerds again. This time, though, they're actually knocked out and wake up at the cult's lair. Let's just hope they don't have to brand each other like Keith Raniere does. It turns out that they weren't the only ones kidnapped. The cult kidnapped the twins as well. And if they want the twins to be released, they better bring the cult the Continuum Transfunctioner. How has it only been 55 minutes? I've only made it through 55 minutes of this movie so far. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's move on. Our heroes go to the house of the person who bought the car from the impound lot. They hop the fence and break into his backyard, but eventually they're knocked out by a bunch of ostriches. The guys wake up in a cage and they're sitting next to Andy Dick. If you think about it, that's a fate worse than death. They convince their captor to let them go. He'll let them get their items out of his new car. Unfortunately for him, the car was stolen while he was inside, which is a devastating blow for the French ornithologist and part-time Andy Dick captor. They did get one clue, though, a key for a locker at their local arcade park. Maybe the Continuum Transfunctioner is there. But before they can open the locker, they're assaulted by the transsexual stripper and her transsexual boyfriend. And in the locker is the briefcase with all the money. Well, good news for the two transsexuals, they'll be able to flee the country in style. And even more good news for them, this movie takes place in the year 2000, so the TSA won't even check their briefcase. Jesse and Chester use the tickets they find in the locker to buy the weirdest doodad at the arcade that they can find. Maybe that's the Continuum Transfunctioner. So they call the cult, the space bimbos, and the Norwegian fellows from earlier. And Jesse and Chester trade the doodad for their twin girlfriends. But it turns out the random doodad was not the Continuum Transfunctioner. Before they get their asses kicked, though, Chester has been playing with the Rubik's Cube the whole movie, and when he solves it, it turns out that that is the Continuum Transfunctioner. Unfortunately, Chester activated it, and it has the ability to wipe out all life in the universe. Honestly, though, I've seen everything the Dude Where's My Car universe has to offer, and maybe all life should have been wiped out. Jesse and Chester give the machine to the two Norwegian fellows, and they're able to stop the bomb from going off. The space bimbos are infuriated, though. They wanted that machine, so they fuse together to become one giant space bimbo. Jesse and Chester are chased across the mini golf course, and before they are killed by the 20-foot-tall woman, they're able to activate the machine and shoot her. They give the machine back to the two alien men, who take the cult with them, and they leave for space. Before they leave, though, the two Norwegian men wipe out the minds of everyone in the movie, kinda like the end of Men in Black. That's right, the last 74 minutes of film will be forgotten. The next morning, Jesse and Chester wake up, and they find their car. Time to go to the girl's house and give them their gift. It turns out that the surprise gift from the twins is not sex, it's personalized berets. In a final twist, there is a secret gift from the aliens. Necklaces that, when put on the twins, make their breasts grow 3 sizes. Kinda like the ending of The Grinch. Well, it looks like it's a happy ending after all for Jesse and Chester. And now I have seen it, so you don't have to. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.